Imagine you're digging for gold. You've been digging for months. Your hands are tired, your back hurts, and the ground keeps looking the same, just dirt, rocks, and disappointment. So you make a decision. You put down the shovel, walk away, and tell yourself it was never going to work anyway. But here's the part nobody told you. 3 feet below where you stopped digging was the gold. This isn't just a metaphor. This is actually what happens to the majority of people who try to build wealth through investing. They stay consistent for a while, and then, right before the magic was about to happen, they quit. And the painful part? Most of them never even realize how close they were. Today, we're going to talk about why this happens, what's actually going on inside your brain when it does, and most importantly, how to make sure you're not one of the people who walks away 3 feet short. Let's be honest about something first. Most people who get into investing do it with real excitement. They read an article or they watch a video or their friend tells them their portfolio is up 40% and they think, okay, I need to get in on this. So they open an account, they put in some money, they check it every day, and for the first few weeks it feels great. Maybe the market goes up a little, maybe they're already imagining what their life looks like in 10 years, but then something happens. The market dips, their portfolio is down 5%, then 10%, they check it again and it's still red. Weeks go by and nothing seems to be moving. The excitement they felt at the beginning slowly turns into anxiety, then boredom, then doubt. And the doubts start sounding very reasonable. They sound like this. Maybe I picked the wrong stocks. Maybe now isn't the right time. Maybe I should just wait until things stabilize. And one day, quietly, without any big dramatic decision, they just stop. They stop contributing, they stop paying attention, and eventually they pull their money out entirely. Sound familiar? Here's the problem. That behavior, that pattern of starting with excitement and ending with quiet surrender, is one of the most expensive financial mistakes a person can make. And it's not because people are stupid or lazy, it's because of something much deeper than that. Let me introduce you to the most powerful and most misunderstood force in all of personal finance: compound interest. Now, before your eyes glaze over, stay with me, because I'm going to explain this in a way that might genuinely change how you think about money forever. Here's a simple example. Imagine you invest $200 every single month starting at age 25. You put it into a basic index fund that averages around 80% return per year. Nothing fancy, no day trading, no hot stock tips, just $200 a month automatically invested, left alone. At the end of year one, you have roughly $2,500. That's barely more than what you put in. After 5 years, around $14,000, still not life-changing. After 10 years, about $36,000. Okay, it's growing, but you've been doing this for a decade and it still doesn't feel dramatic. After 20 years, over $118,000. After 30 years, more than $298,000. Do you see what just happened there? The first 10 years felt almost pointless. Slow, boring, unimpressive. But the last 10 years added over $180,000, more than everything that came before it combined. The growth didn't happen in a straight line. It happened in an explosion at the end. That explosion has a name. It's called the compounding curve, and almost nobody stays invested long enough to reach it. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The reason people quit isn't just impatience. It's something psychologists call present bias, and every single one of us has it wired into our brains. Present bias is our tendency to overvalue what's happening right now compared to what could happen in the future. It's why we eat the cake even though we're on a diet. It's why we hit snooze even though we plan to wake up early. And it's why we pull money out of investments when they're temporarily down. Even though the long-term trend has always pointed up, our brains are not built for 30-year timelines. They are built for immediate feedback, for quick results, for survival. And investing by design rewards patience, which is the one thing our brains are least naturally good at. There's also something called loss aversion. Studies have shown that psychologically losing $100 feels about twice as painful as gaining $100 feels good. So when your portfolio drops by $500, the emotional weight of that loss is so heavy that it overrides all rational thinking about long-term gains. In other words, your brain is actively working against your wealth. And the market knows this, not in a conspiracy theory way, but in a very real mechanical way. Markets go down regularly, every few years, sometimes every few months, and each one of those dips is a psychological test. The people who pass the test, who stay invested, who keep contributing, are the ones who capture the big returns. The people who fail the test, who sell in panic and wait on the sidelines, lock in their losses and miss the recovery. History has shown this again and again. The 2008 financial crisis wiped out trillions of dollars in wealth. But people who stayed invested and kept buying during that crash, they doubled their money within 5 years. The people who sold in panic, they didn't just lose money during the crash. They missed one of the greatest recoveries in stock market history. Here's what nobody tells you about wealth building. The early years of investing aren't where you make your money. They're where you earn the right to make money later. They're the years where you build the habit, build the foundation, and let the compounding curve gather its energy. Think about it like a snowball rolling down a hill. In the beginning, it's tiny, it barely picks up any snow. You could look at it and think, this is pointless, this is never going to be anything. But if you keep it rolling, something shifts. The bigger it gets, the more snow it picks up with every rotation. The speed increases, the mass increases, and eventually it becomes something you can't ignore. But the snowball only works if you don't stop rolling it. The people who quit at year 3 or year 5, they stopped rolling their snowball during the hardest, least exciting part of the entire process. They never got to see what it was capable of. And the cruel irony of investing is this: the moment it feels the worst is often the moment closest to a breakthrough. Markets recover, portfolios bounce back, and the people still holding when that happens are the ones who end up wealthy. So what do you actually do with all of this? First, automate everything. Don't rely on motivation to invest consistently. Motivation is unreliable. Set up an automatic monthly transfer into your investment account so the money moves before you even see it. Remove the decision entirely. Second, stop checking your portfolio every day. Every time you look at a red number, your brain registers it as a loss, even if nothing has actually changed in your long-term outcome. Checking daily increases anxiety and temptation to act emotionally. Check quarterly at most. Third, understand the dips are not disasters, they are opportunities. When the market drops, you're not losing money, you're buying the same assets at a discount. If your favorite brand went on a 30% sale, you wouldn't panic, you'd buy more. Train yourself to think about market dips the same way. And fourth, zoom out. When you're feeling anxious about your portfolio, look at a 20 or 30-year chart of the SUP 500. Not a 1-week chart, not a 1-month chart. The long one. Let the historical trend remind your nervous brain what has actually always happened over time. Let's go back to that gold miner for a second. He worked hard, he was serious about it, he wasn't lazy, he quit because digging is exhausting and the ground never gave him any feedback that the gold was coming. And that's the thing about building wealth. The process doesn't reward you early. It doesn't give you much encouragement in the beginning. It just asks you to keep going, keep trusting, keep showing up. And the people who do, eventually the ground breaks open. The question isn't whether compound interest works. It does. The question isn't whether time in the market beats timing the market. It does. The only real question is whether you'll still be holding the shovel when it matters most. Most people won't be. Make sure you're not one of them. If this made you think differently about investing, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper on how money psychology shapes your financial life, stick around because we're just getting started. Most people will ignore this, but you won't. Subscribe to stay ahead, like the video. If you're committed to smarter investing, thanks for watching. Your future self will thank you.